Hi guys, so for today's All Favourites Revisited, we're having a look at products from 17 at Boots. Now, I can't find the exact products that I used when I was younger because that was a while ago, and the brand has been through a few kind of reformulations, rebrandings, repackagings since then. So what I've done is gone for the products that I would normally go for, but just from the brand that I used to use. So we've got a primer, a long wear primer. You get 20 mils, it's quite a small tube, and the primer was, let me see, £5.49, so nice and affordable. We've got the Stay Time up to 25 hour wear foundation with SPF 25, 30 mils for £6.49, so again very affordable. I like that it's got an SPF. I've got the Let's Face It palette, which costs £5.99, which has provided me my concealer, my blusher and my powder for today. And last but not least, I also grabbed a mascara for £4.69. So these were on free for two. I'd bought this on a separate occasion because I couldn't find the foundation that I wanted. So the mascara is the one I ended up getting for free. So I have done my makeup using these today, and I am going to insert that now so that you can have a look. Okay, so let's get this on. I'm going to use my normal primer on half my face and the 17 primer on the other half, just because I am interested in trying the primer first, give it something to compare to, see what difference it really makes with this foundation, or if it's just equally as good as my normal Soap and Glory one. So I'm having the right side of my face for Soap and Glory and the left side for 17. So I was beginning to wonder if 17 was getting like discontinued or if they were doing a massive repackaging, because every time I went in and I went to different stores, the foundation display was completely picked over. Now this actually looks like it's been sampled. Yummy. So I'm going to squeeze a bit out and wipe it off and then use it. This is also weirdly foundation coloured, if you can see. So I'm hoping this goes on a little bit clearer than it's looking. So okay, it's very thick. Which I guess I should have expected from a long wear primer. It doesn't feel silicone-y, but interestingly do not have ingredients on this packet. Ooh, I'll need to look that up. So it says, it's time that your makeup had staying power. This light liquid primer works as a glue to keep foundation on and on. Makeup stays put all day long, it's time, stay time. So it feels light on the skin, but blending it in feels really quite difficult, and glue's not the worst comparison actually to how sticky this feels. So yeah, it's setting down okay, but it's still definitely stickier feeling than the Soap and Glory. So let's try this foundation that supposedly offers up to 25 hour wear, which I'm a little bit sceptical of, but also unfortunately not going to test because I don't feel like wearing makeup for 25 hours. So it's got a nice pump, maybe. Way, jeez, oh. Okay. So that's a bit of a explosive pump mechanism there. So this might end up a little bit too warm or too dark for my skin, but this is the lightest shade they had, so let's get going. I don't think it's going to be too bad unless it oxidizes, so we'll see. So they had this isn't the exact one that I used when I was younger, because their range has been redesigned so many times since then, but definitely This brand and their formula is what I used to rely on for my face makeup because it was affordable and done paler shades. It was also available really widely because, you know, Boots is everywhere in the UK. It's one of our main pharmacies, and this is their own brand, so they always stock it. Even the little tiny one in the town where my nursery was, where my gran lived, it had 17. So it's a little bit patchy there on the forehead. Let's zoom you in. Why is my nose ring always sideways? Whee. Right, so I'm going to switch the light off actually, just for a second. So it's a little bit patchy, but I think I can keep working with it and build up a little more. So the foundation itself seems really thick too, but it's blending okay. There's those little patches, but I'm going to work on it. Okay, I need a little bit of extra cover on my nose, so let's pump out some more. It is a very thick gel texture. Doesn't say anything on the back really about that. Just, again, it's time that your makeup had staying power. This full coverage foundation gives a flawless, smooth skin finish that lasts and lasts. Foundation that stays put for up to 25 hours. It's time, stay time. So, not a huge amount more information than you got from the primer, but there you go. So I'm just going to build up some of this coverage because I'm sorry, you're not full coverage, you're medium, buildable, maybe. Especially since 17 from its name, it's kind of aimed at teenagers, which generally is when you're going to have the worst problems with your skin. So when you say full coverage for a teenager, you need it to mean full coverage. So, a little bit unimpressed with that side of it. So, concealer wise, I've bought the Let's Face It palette, which looks like this. We've got two concealers, which are under a plastic cover by the way, cream blusher and a setting powder. I'm going to try and rely on this today, which could be interesting. So concealer wise, I'm probably going to go for the paler one. So let's see how that goes. Seems nice and creamy, so let's just start getting that on where I normally have my concealer. And we know I always put it on my forehead. It looks more like flower petals than a chicken foot today, which is nice. And my usual massive blob on my chin because my chin always just needs extra help. So, it's been a while since I used a, well, non-liquid really, concealer, one that's as solid as this in the pan, so it's not blending out the way I'm used to, but that's just because of what it is. Looks okay though. It's blending into the foundation nicely. It's giving extra coverage, what it's meant to do. Yeah. I really hope this palette does work out because as a kind of basics kit to keep on you if you want to do touch-ups, I think it's really, it's really nice to have all that in one place. So it would be nice if that worked out. I need some extra coverage around here because I missed it. In fact, quite a lot of my chin area just did not get covered well. I'm not doing well with these 8 o'clock starts at work, guys. I hate mornings. So, sorry. Okay, so let's try this cream blush. It's a very nice fair one. This is obviously the fair version of this kit. Not sure how great this is going to show up but it's going to give a nice natural rosy glow if it gives anything. So that's quite pretty. Hopefully it'll still show once there's powder on, because this powder doesn't look as translucent as we would want. And I just dropped the little brush out of this, but I prefer using my fingers anyway. Okay. Oops, right, okay. So I'm going to get a powder brush, and I don't know why I just snapped that shut, because I'm using the powder from it, which is going to be interesting because it is quite a small pan compared to my brush. So hopefully I don't end up powdering with a mixture of powder and blusher. That wouldn't go well. So I'm going to actually be horrible and tap it out over the mirror, since I'm not using this mirror, and it means I can distribute it on the brush a little bit better and get this tapped on. I actually think that looks quite nice. The blusher is extremely pale. I think if you were paler than me, you probably wouldn't be getting away with that. And in fact, if you're a shade or two darker than me, that might make a nice under eye colour corrector if you were really light-handed with it. So that's interesting. Okay. So I'm just going to zoom out. From a distance, I think this base looks absolutely fine. Let's do the horrible zoom in test, because we're being thorough. So this is the Soap and Glory side. My pores look fine. Same on the 17 side, actually. Okay. So I also bought a mascara just for, well, to be honest, it was on free for two. It was the cheapest thing that I could find that I knew I would get use out of. So I did used to use the mascaras as well. And this is the maximum volume. So let's see what we've got with this. And just a fairly standard brush. I was kind of expecting a little bit fatter for a max volume, but let's see. Okay, that's actually really nice. The mascaras I do always remember being quite nice, so that's a pleasant surprise. Look at the difference that's made. Ooh, okay. Oh, I really hope this doesn't smudge, because this is pretty fabulous. Oh yeah. Okay. Very black, very striking, no clumps. Okay, honestly, if this doesn't smudge, I am going to be in love. And it's very nice and buildable. So that is pretty awesome. So I'm going to go and quickly finish the rest of my face. I still want to do contour and highlight and my brows. And I will come back just to show you the finished product and do a timestamp for checking in and seeing how this wears. Okay, so the time now is 7:10. I will be going to work until 4. My office has been really sweaty this week, so I have no idea what sort of day I am in for. I'm going to do my best not to touch this up to give you guys a proper view, but depends how bad. It's awful because this is so affordable. I've got it in my head that it's going to go wrong, which is a really bad attitude to have, and I know isn't correct because this is twice the price of my favourite foundation, so why should it be bad? So at the moment I'm loving the finish, and I will check in with you when I'm back from work. Okay, I'm back a bit earlier than anticipated, looking worse than I thought I would at this point in the day. It's actually only 20 past 11, so I've only had this on for 4 hours. I had a massive panic attack at work. My makeup is now a mess, so I'm going to have to do some repairs. I can safely say that the mascara is not waterproof, so I'm going to do some repairs on my face. So I've got these nice tear streaks now, so that's awesome. Forehead is looking a little bit oily, nose, I ended up blowing my nose, chin a little bit oily, cheeks are looking nice apart from the bits that have teary mascara on them. So the coverage I think is still staying pretty good apart from where I've literally scraped it off because I couldn't get proper hanky and was using paper towel. So I suppose I quite like doing fix-ups sometimes when I'm reviewing a product because it's important to see how it kind of reacts with that. Because touch-ups, they happen, sometimes you have to do them. It's nice to know that, you know, your foundation works for that and doesn't just go clumpy and awful. So I'm gonna dab some of the oil off so that I can work around. So it's touched up quite nicely. The oily forehead, to be honest, I kind of think the problem might have been more to do with the powder than the foundation. I don't really have any logic behind that, it's just the way I'm feeling. So what I'm going to do is, once I've sorted this out, I'm going to powder half my forehead with the one in that compact and the other half with my normal Illamasqua setting powder, and we'll see if there's any difference later. So that's that. I think my blush is still cute. It's got a little bit of a run through it but nothing major. So yeah, I'm going to fix my eyeshadow separately. It's not what we're reviewing today, so yeah. So powder out that palette. I should have done that on the other side. So that's that side of my face repowdered, and then Illamasqua for the other. A little bit more. And then I'm going to go and fix the eyes. That's going to be a much bigger job. So new check-in time for newly repaired makeup, 11:24. I think it looks nice. It doesn't look cakey, even though we've added another layer of foundation and powder, which should make it look cakey, but it hasn't. So I'm impressed with that. Okay, I'm back for a check-in. It is only 10 to 8. It's definitely not 26 hours since I put this foundation on, and really definitely not 26 hours since I touched it up. So I know it says it's long wear rather than mattifying. I know I have to accept that, but look how oily I am. And because I'm so oily, it's broken down the cover and it's wearing off in a lot of places. See when we zoom in. So I'm not really getting any cover left for the concealer under the eyes. Nothing on my nose, which is one of the areas I'd touched up. Chin's okay. Backs of my cheeks are okay. I still see a little bit of the blush. And well, let's just not talk about my forehead. So the oiliness seems to be quite even, shall we say, regardless of whether it was the side I primed with my Soap and Glory or the 17 Stay Time. The oiliness seems to be quite even regardless of whether it was the side that I reset with Illamasqua or continued to set with the powder in the Let's Face It palette. So I think it's safe to say that the foundation for me is a little bit of a bust. I'm not going to bin it for one reason and one reason only. If I ever know I'm going out for a short time, do want to have foundation on and want an SPF, SPF 25 is quite a good level to find in a foundation. So, you know, I'm not going to bin it, but I don't see it being a daily usual reach for product. Let's put it that way. The Let's Face It palette. Let's face it, this wasn't fabulous. I love the concept behind this. I love the idea of having enough product in one little palette that you can kind of pull yourself together. So you can conceal any problems, brighten up your cheeks, and dust a bit of powder to set that in. However, concealer hasn't really lasted, the powder's not really setting and fighting any shine. The blusher's cute, but do you want to buy a palette this size for just the blusher? As I said, the concept, absolutely amazing. This would be the sort of thing that you could just like shove in a drawer at work, shove in like your gym bag, and if people kind of propose last minute plans and you hadn't done your face this morning and you wanted to be a little bit more pulled together, you know, this is the products that would, you know, help you do that. It's just not good versions of them. So, you know, I'm kind of seeing why I'd moved on from the 17 face makeup, because I can't imagine I ever liked looking this oily. Mascara, which, oh my god, I keep misplacing and I'm going to scream in a minute. Okay, it just fell over. I literally spent 5 minutes hunting for this, only to find that at some point my brain had went, we're just going to put our mascara in with the makeup brushes, because that's where that lives. I actually like this. It's not waterproof, but I liked how it made my lashes look. I liked the brush. I like how black it is. I've not had transfer. They don't feel weirdly crusty, which they sometimes do with mascaras, and that's bearing in mind that I cried and then reapplied this, which is usually a really good way to end up with clumpy, crunchy, icky mascara. So definitely not waterproof, bear that in mind, but a nice budget mascara. So all in all, yeah, I see why I moved away from the 17 foundation. I'm going to stick out with the mascara, and that's probably about it, really. If you guys have got any questions about this, please leave them down below and I will get back to you. And ooh, look at that shine. I look like I've sprayed half a bottle of setting spray on my face. Okay, bye guys.